See, okay, you're the genius.
Shan,
Exactly.
Coach Shan, thank you very, very much.
No problem at all.
For being a guest on October Red Interviews.
No problem.
It's an absolute honor, and I've got to say this. I'm even more happy because it's a female that's involved in boxing.
Yeah, I agree, definitely.
Yeah, and a female that is coaching up and coming fighters.
Yeah.
That means a lot. So thank you very, very much.
No problem at all. No problem. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, and hopefully this will be one of many conversations that we'll have.
Definitely.
You know what
Definitely.
I mean? But before we go ahead and get really into it,
Yep.
I'd like you to introduce yourself, tell the viewers a little bit about Coach Shan, where we can find you, and what you're about.
Okay, so as you know, I'm Coach Shan. I'm the owner, the founder of Power Mobile Gym, and I basically coach boys from 13 to 19 years old boxing in and around London, all different ages and as well all different areas as well.
Yeah.
So some of them fight and some of them are just boxing recreationally. I target boys from especially low income backgrounds and areas and stuff like that, and get them, deterred away from crime, get them away from a life of crime, and also just stress relief as well. Especially during this lockdown, it's easy for kids to get down. Well, adults as well, everyone. Easy for everyone to get down.
Yeah.
And you can find me on powermobilegym.co.uk, Instagram as well, Coach Shan or Power Mobile Gym, and the same goes for Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, the whole lot. So yeah. That's about me.
Epic. Because I've got here that you're an England amateur boxing coach and you're the founder of Power Mobile Gym.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Shan, and how you got involved in boxing in the first place.
I have a family member, well, two actually, that are involved in boxing. And I was trying to go into the whole teaching route when I was younger.
Yeah.
But I think my mum and dad tried to put me in loads of different sports clubs. And boxing was the only one I actually took to. And so, again, mixed two of my passions, boxing and teaching. I ended up with boxing coaching. So it was kind of meant to be sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I had a couple of fights for my local club in Redbridge ABC. And then since I started, it started off with a thing whereby I was helping out on the Saturday classes in the boxing club. And I was just loving it so much. I started doing more days. And then my experience just grew from there, made sure I had my qualifications in check, and it just went from there.
Yeah. So how old were you when you started?
Yeah. I started at, I think I was 10.
Wow. Okay. So how many years have you been? Obviously, a lady never tells her age. But how long have you been in it now? You started
I'm 20. I don't mind.
Wow.
I don't mind.
20?
Yeah. 20, 21 in July.
So an entrepreneur at the age of 20?
Yep, exactly that.
Okay. So you said that you boxed as well?
Yeah.
What age? So you said you started at 10. Tell us a little bit about your boxing background.
Yeah, so I started at 10 and I didn't fight until I was about 11. About 11 and a half or 12. I can't remember. About 11 and a half or 12. One of them. I had 14 fights. I won all of them, luckily. And of course I had my 2 gym shows as well. They were kind of scattered over a period of time, because what happened was that a lot of the time I'd go to different venues, go to different places, and then there'd be no female fighter, or the fight would turn up, because it's not like I have an option of fighters and stuff like that when I get there, because there's not many female fighters as it is. It's if that one is not there, then I'm not fighting. So that happened so many times. So my fights were scattered over time, but I just kept training, kept pushing throughout the time being. So
So how long were you waiting between some of your fights?
I think the longest time I waited was like a whole year, I think.
Wow.
A whole year and a half, about a year and a half or a year, one of them. Yeah, and I was regularly going with my peers to different fights and stuff like that. And yeah, there's just none for me. None for me. That's just training with no understanding or any knowledge of when I would be fighting. Just training.
Yeah,
that's it.
So
but I loved it, so it wasn't a problem.
Yeah, I hear that. But how did you then still find the motivation? You're with your club, because obviously you're boxing out of a club, you're going to fight. You know, you see your peers, they going into the ring, they're having their fights. So how did that keep you motivated when sometimes you turn up and there wasn't a fight for yourself?
Sparring, I mean, I just, as I said, I love the sport of boxing. So it wasn't, I wanted to fight. I jumped in and sparred with anyone and anyway, like everyone who wanted to have it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, any sparring I could get from different clubs or even from some of my uncle's clients, actually, anyone, I just kept going. And I didn't really see it at the time as, oh my gosh, like, here we go, another month I'm fighting, another month. Like, it was just, I was so active that it was just, like I was just waiting for it any time, sort of thing. I was active, so it didn't really make a difference that much at the time. It's only now that I look back at it and I think, wow, that's a long time, boy.
So then that momentum, so you turn that momentum over into coaching. What made you decide, okay, I've won my 14 fights, you know, I've achieved a bit, I've been boxing since I was 10. So where did the teaching come into it? Where did you say, okay, now I'm going to start to become and train to be a coach?
I said, when I was helping out in my local boxing club, it was first just, okay, I'm helping out my coach. I love the club sort of thing. I love the sport. I'm helping out my coach. From the time I was young, I was always like, I'm talking like 5 years old, stuff like that, doing little registers in the house. I was always obsessed with teaching for some reason. I thought I was going to be like my end career. And I always thought, I'm going to teach in a school. But that didn't plan out at all. But I'm happy it didn't plan out. Because as I said, boxing is my other passion. And now every time I go and coach whoever I'm coaching, I never see it as work or a job or nothing like that. It's just me fueling my passion. That is it. It just happened over time.
So how long did it take for you to become qualified to get involved in the coaching side of the sport?
As soon as I turned 18, because you can get onto the England Boxing Level 1 course when you're 18 years old. As soon as I turned 18, that actually, I think it was something crazy, like a couple of days after I turned 18, I applied for the England Boxing Level 1 the next month. So I was waiting for it, sort of thing. So as soon as I turned 18, that was it.
Yeah. And how long did that take?
From the time I started coach, I think I started helping out in my gym. It must have been like 16, 15 or something like that. I started helping out in my gym about 16, 15. And so a couple of years. I just had to wait. Nothing I could do really. In the meantime, I was still doing, obviously not by myself, assisted with the head coach and other coaches or whatever, but doing the kids classes. Sometimes I'd even like help out the classes that are like older than me, like the father and son classes and the male boxing classes that they had, the female boxing classes that they had. There was no limit on who I was coaching and nothing like that.
So how long did it take you to complete the Level 1 course?
I think 4 days. 4 days it takes you. Yes. You got to keep going back there, and it's like a 9 to 5 thing as well.
Right. Okay.
So over the course of 4 days, you learn about different things and like the basics in boxing, pad work, and the safety measurements and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And what you can and can't do.
Yeah. And was there anything else after that, or did you just do the Level 1?
I done the Level 2. I done the boxer size instructor course. I done the boxing tutor course. You got to do your safeguarding, DBS, first aid. And I done my personal. I done that when I turned 19. I think I done my personal training reps. Level 1 and 2. 2 and 3 course. And I think that's everything. I probably left out something, but I mean, I jump on every course, to be honest. So I think that's everything.
You've got a lot of qualifications there. So you backed all that up. You've been around the sport for a while. You knew you were going to get into teaching. You've worked with other gyms before. You've helped out during different classes. What happened to make you want to say, okay, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to do this on my own. Coach Shan is going to set up the Power Mobile Gym.
I've done fundraisers but like from the time I was secondary school, I've been a very different child from the time I was young, sort of thing. From the time I was in secondary school, I've done like Great Ormond Street fundraiser and a Children's Eye Cancer Trust one where I've done like, I think I called it a fitness fundraiser. It wasn't properly planned or whatever. I was in like year 9 and stuff, and I made everyone pay like £1 or whatever and I've done a crazy like boxing circuit that I actually learned in my boxing club at the time. So I've always been quite a charitable person. So the thing with Palm Mobile Gym, it actually started in quarantine, during this quarantine sort of thing. Yeah, I had one. I've been training like people for free, like clients, people my age and younger, for free, but it never had a name or anything like that. And then there was one boy that I was there. He lost his fight, and he said, "Oh, he wants to give up boxing or whatever, and he doesn't want to do it anymore." So I said, "Okay, just train with me once, and then if you don't want to do it again, fair enough." Yeah. And then literally word of mouth. "Oh, coach, can I bring my friend?" "Oh, sure." "Oh, coach, can he bring his cousin?" "Sure." And then it was just like, at one point I was thinking, I must have looked at my session, I had like 10 people. I was thinking, how did that happen? Like, how did that happen? And I thought, you know what, I'm gonna actually make a thing out of this because clearly there's a need for it. And I started going to different areas, and as soon as I put it up and promoted it a bit, I had people from North London message me, "Oh yeah, I want to get my son into boxing." I had people from West London, East African, South. I was thinking, oh my gosh, what have I done? But it was a good thing.
You know what?
A good thing, definitely.
You know what? I've got to give you a round of applause for that. I've got to give you a round of applause for that. Something that started off with a passion of yours, something that you stuck to, something that you got qualified in, something that you care about. You care about the community. You've got people off the streets, word of mouth. You've now got 10 people in your class, and you've got people coming from all sides of London to be trained.
I've even got another coach with me now. Mark Callaghan. He's an ex-professional boxing coach, and he actually was training me when I was younger at the boxing club I was at. And he said, "Oh yeah, I love helping out kids," sort of thing. And he's like, "Yeah, anything you need." And then over conversations, he's now doing my East London group of boys, and I'm doing the South East London and North London group of boys.
Right.
Okay. So it's the numbers are getting big now. I think I've got like 25 of them now, and I've got 17 waiting to be organised in groups.
Okay.
Still, so
what's the process then? Because you said that you're an amateur coach. So are you getting them turned over like licensed stuff? Talk to us a bit about that side of it.
Yeah, so obviously as a mobile gym, you can't fight out of a mobile place, of course. So what happens is exactly that. So what happens is I'm kind of in partnership with another gym, and they fight out of that gym.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
But yeah. So the Power Mobile Gym and actual base for it could potentially, fingers crossed, be sorted out by July, August, but I'll keep it quiet about that one until it's
loose lips
until it's time.
Chips.
So exactly that. So soon it will be Power Mobile Gym in the corner, but for now it's kind of behind the scenes, but it will soon. Definitely.
So how do you prepare your fighters then to get ready to have their medicals and then obviously register them to get them into fights?
In terms of the whole medical situation, before a boxer actually becomes part of the Power Mobile Gym team, if you like to call it, they have to do obviously their medical form, and not assess them, but we have conversations with them, open informal conversations just about everything that's going on with them, sort of thing, just between myself and that participant, so I can really get understanding as to what they might be going through, what type of person they are, what their struggles might be. Are they involved in crime? Are they, are suffering from financial burden? Is their household all right? Different, just an informal conversation, nothing that gets passed on to anyone else, sort of thing. And in terms of getting them prepared for fight, we do pad work, we do sparring, we do everything a boxing club does. I take them out to the running track up in Ladywell as well. everything. I'm on to them about runs. If they don't submit their runs, their 3 runs per week, then it's 100 burpees every single week. If they're late, it's 100 burpees. The discipline is definitely there. But yeah, I've honestly, I've received such good results in terms of these boxers. I look back at the videos, even if you just scroll down on my Instagram and see like you'll see some of their faces pop up quite frequently. And you look at how they were months ago, you look at them now, and I always think, like, wow, like I did that. Like that's amazing. But sometimes it's hard to see results sometimes, in terms of technical results.
Okay.
Sometimes. Yeah, so but now like they're looking sharp. I'm not even just like, bigging them up for just because they're part of Palmer Bar Gym, but definitely they're looking sharp. I've even had like strangers message me saying, "Oh, I've been following their journey. I'm surprised." I'm thinking, well.
So when somebody when somebody approaches Coach Shan, maybe like you said, their parent have contacted you saying, I want my child to get involved in boxing. Maybe it's to keep them out of trouble, or maybe it's just to give them something to do as a hobby. What type of person do you look for to be part of your Power Mobile Gym? What type of fighter are you looking for? Because let's face it, it doesn't fit. Boxing doesn't fit everyone, and it's not a sport for everyone. So when you're looking at somebody, what qualities are you looking for in a person outside of the ring as well as inside?
Consistency is the main thing, because I feel like, especially in this time where we've got this lockdown happening and this happening and that happening, and then everything has to be virtual, and then we can be face to face. I'm looking for someone that I know is going to train throughout and just stay engaged throughout, sort of thing. Not someone that wants to start something today and quit tomorrow if it's not going their way, sort of thing. But I also, as much as we are a boxing like organization, we also do CV building workshops, and we work with their particular skills and interests. For example, the website that I'm actually speaking of in this video, one of my 16-year-old boxers created the whole website for me. So it's about getting them fit, getting them mentally healthy, physically healthy, working on their interests and hobbies, and seeing what opportunities I can create for them and what connections I have to ensure that they actually can make a career out of them opportunities. I've got some people within Power Mobile Gym, they don't want to fight, they're not interested in fighting at all, they don't even watch boxing. Some of them won't even, I can list fighters and they'll be like, who's that? They're just about know who Anthony Joshua is, some of them. So, literally. So, but there's always something that, they can do and can gain knowledge about, or, can better themselves through Power Mobile Gym. Yeah.
It's like a real sense of community, isn't it?
Definitely.
It's like literally like a safe place, a place of development, sort of like a subsidiary to the school, extracurricular activity to help develop, your young students. So that is commendable. And this is why I like to speak to all different sorts of people that are involved in the sport, because there's a lot more to boxing than just boxing. There's a lot more to the people that we see involved in the sport. What is your capacity then? Because you're saying that you've got somebody that's got a specific part of London, and you've got another part of London. What is your capacity looking like? And will you be taking on extra coaches?
Oh yeah, of course. So ideally, what I would like to have is a coach for north, east, south, and west, sort of thing. So the 4 of us. I don't really have a capacity or whatever. I just changed my timetable, my boxing timetable, to make sure everyone fits in, sort of thing. I never turn down anyone. No, none of that. If I say I'm helping out the community, I'm helping out the community. It's not, I don't have a limit, sort of thing. I just I could just move around the timetable to make sure whether it's 2 groups we need, or whether we need different days or stuff like that. I don't turn down anyone. So.
And you mentioned as well, you like to send them like tasks, say for example, the running and stuff. Tell us a little bit about the tasks that you send them, because obviously we're on the virtual training at the moment.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that to keep your amateur boxers, your soon-to-be amateur boxers, motivated.
Yeah, so the way I keep them engaged is by little tasks like, for example, running. So they have to send me their, so there's different targets for every individual sort of thing. They can't all be at the same target because they're at different levels.
Yeah.
And so for example, I might say, okay, cool, 2 4K runs, that's what's expected of you, this person or whatever, that's what's expected of you every single week. And if you don't do it, then that's 100 burpees. Everyone knows the rules. And no screenshot, no run sort of thing. So if you don't screenshot from the Nike app, it means you haven't run. It doesn't matter if your phone died, you haven't ran. That's as far as I'm concerned. And also I do little competitions. So it might be to get a head guard, it might be to get a tracksuit, it might be to get boxing gloves, it might be even to get like a £10 JD Sports voucher. There's all sorts of it's not just limited to boxing. Yeah, because I understand that not everyone has an interest in boxing, but they might just be doing it to keep fit and stuff like that. So a head guard wouldn't really be exciting for them to get as a prize. Yeah, exactly. So I do, for example, I might say, okay, how many jabs can you do in a minute or whatever? You submit the video in the group chat, and the person with the highest amount of jabs gets the £10 JD Sports voucher. Or, you know, little competitions like that. I have to keep them engaged definitely during this time. And it seems to be, it's benefiting their health as well. So exactly.
And what are the age ranges? I do beg your pardon, I think you mentioned it earlier, but just to clarify, what are the age ranges of your students?
It's 13 to 19 years old.
13 to 19 years. And how many of them have had like amateur bouts so far?
I think there's 4 of them, I believe. 4 of them have actually fought in the past. Yeah, I think so. I think I got that right. 4 of them. Trying to remember all of them. Yeah. Because 4 of them have actually had a couple of fights in the past.
Yeah, because at the moment with lockdown, we're all stuck. And I was saying it to somebody that I was speaking to before. It's so hard for amateur boxers. They're not classed as the elite. So how are they keeping motivated? You know, they may have even had fights that were available, and then all of a sudden it stopped.
Lockdown.
How do you keep your fighters motivated during these times?
Again, with the little trips we go on or whatever to see different gyms, we go to different pro gyms, because legally you can, if you're either for educational purposes or for those under 18 and like a supervised sports team, then you guys can still train indoors actually, which is states on Sport England. So even though I've been doing the virtual sessions as well, some parents, of course, as you can imagine, are uncomfortable with their children going into indoor environments to train. And it's like mixed views about it sort of thing. But I might have a virtual competition, I might have a competition when we're in person sort of thing. So I make sure that the two sets of people both have something they can benefit from. It's hard to definitely keep them engaged. I've had to really think on the ball during this time, because it's like, cool, we're training for a fight. When it's a fight, last season cancelled, this season probably cancelled. So what fight is it?
And then you're having to deal with all of these teenage frustration, emotions of being
and then on top of the schools as well. It's the schools right now. Like one of the schools that a couple of my boys attend, they're just doing like exam after exam after exam, because they didn't know if they were taking the GCSE at the point or not. So, and obviously it's frustrating because they're having to like revise, and they've already done an exam for this, and then they're frustrated. A lot of them are saying like they want to drop out. I've been trying to keep them motivated the best way I can to stay in school, because I definitely believe that's important. And but it is hard. It's just basic teenage hormones going crazy, plus the pressure from school, plus lockdown, not being able to go out and actually have a teenage life, plus potentially financial burden in the house, plus crime. It's like, what else? What else?
And the thing is, that's why I think we need more people like yourself doing stuff like this, because even though fair enough, you love it, it's still charitable and it's still kind, and you don't know what those people would have been doing, what those kids would have been doing if you didn't say, come on, let's do this. you know, send them those
definitely.
motivational, make sure you get your runs in, or it's still applying that discipline in an environment where everything has just literally disappeared. And the only thing you do is told to stay at home.
Exactly.
And that's it.
Stay safe, keep a distance.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's nice to see that you're actually giving them some kind of routine, some kind of discipline to keep them motivated. That is really, really commendable. But we're going to put lockdown away. We're going to say, okay, lockdown finishes whenever it does.
Yeah.
What are you seeking to achieve with your fighters? Say if 2022, what's the goal for Coach Shan?
The goal is definitely to get them fighting. The goal is to actually get our base sorted out.
Yes.
And because my passion, even it's in boxing as a whole, but in particular amateur boxing.
Yeah.
Like my passion is definitely within amateur boxing.
Yeah.
That's always where I found, you know, it to be most fun or whatever. So definitely get the ones that want to fighting. I also want to make sure that, you know, when stuff gets back to normal, that anyone who's seeking employment is like guaranteed employment. Any one of my like young people that are seeking employment. And also as well, what I'm trying to do is get a trip organized to go to somewhere like Jamaica and work with Rude Boy Boxing Club, based in Kingston, and do a project with them whereby my boys and their boys can train together. Because I notice a lot of the time it kind of shows my personality a bit here, but a lot of the time we look for Western countries to go and compete in sports and go and do projects over there and stuff like that. So my head's completely out of that. I want to go either Africa, Asia, or the Caribbean to go and actually do a project with and stuff like that. I feel like it's definitely beneficial on both sides. They get to train obviously in harder conditions, different scenery, different people, network, and then on the other side for Rude Boy Boxing Club, they get to obviously what was I going to say?
Experience
promotion through us, sort of thing. Experience as well, and again networking. It's a big thing, definitely. And a lot of the time, a lot of raw talent gets overlooked. Because it's not where they want to look, is it?
The top. But the exposure, I mean, going on those trips, going to that side of the world, getting your fighters that experience will only stand them in good stead when they do fight and when they do eventually go over to pro, because they would have probably fought with those other amateurs from the gyms from the other countries. So that is a really good idea, especially with a little bit of a negative reputation that British boxing is getting, that when they step outside of the UK, it doesn't seem to work for us. So it's good that you're going to try and break down those barriers from this grassroots level. I think that's absolutely fantastic. So what about when what about when you're fighters then? Would you ever look at considering turning some of them over pro?
Oh, definitely, yes, indeed, definitely. A couple of them actually have dreams of going professional in the future. So the ones that do, of course, and anyone else who kind of develops along the time, build up their amateur record and stuff like that, and does want to, then I'm open to it, definitely. Some of them have some really, really good potential, and they're really focused. Sometimes I think, like, wow. Sometimes they amaze me. A lot of the time, actually. Their determination. They're out running when we had that crazy rain a couple of days ago. They're out there sending me videos. Coach, I'm running. A lot of them are really they're motivated, definitely.
Discipline.
And they've been motivated, definitely.
And it's instilling that discipline, and it's giving them something to, like a goal, like I said, in what seems to be a goalless society at the moment, with everything just drawn to a halt.
100% agree.
So what about yourself then? At the moment, you're an amateur coach. What steps are you going to take then, so you can then turn into a pro coach? So you've grown these kids. So surely you want to follow them through their career, or you're going to be one of them that's okay to wave them off into the sunset. See you later in pro. Okay.
No, not at all.
They're Coach Shans forever.
Exactly. You're stuck with me. You ain't leaving me, mate. No, definitely. I will look into getting my trainer second license with the whole BBOFC stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely. Um, yeah, that's something I've actually been looking at anyway.
Good.
So, also Power Mobile Gym. Obviously, all the classes that we do, we don't charge anything. Whether it's we give out boxing gloves, it's completely free. The whole thing is a completely free initiative. So, we travel to and from these locations. We take our boxers to and from different locations, and we also making sure that we don't put any financial burden on their household by paying for their travel and paying for their lunch while we're out. So it's not a case of, I don't agree with organising trips and then saying, okay, you have to find the money to pay for your travel, otherwise you ain't coming, or you have to find the money to pay for your lunch, otherwise you're starving. No, that's not me or what we stand for at all. So definitely. And also I feel like it's really important to actually get everyone issued a team kit. Definitely. So aside from travel expenses, definitely a team kit. One, because I have different types of students from different types of backgrounds, from different types of households, some more wealthy than others. And to avoid any not bullying, but
elitism.
So I think exactly.
Pecking
order. So if
order.
everyone's on the same level with
even playing field.
Exactly. Definitely. So and just for our general because sometimes we go, as I said, we go to different places, and even we were meant to do our 2020 celebration dinner, couldn't do that because all the restaurants are shut. One, that didn't happen. But we're gonna do it. We're trying to arrange an award night sort of thing, because some of them have made some tremendous progress, not only in boxing but also in their mindset. I've had some that have actually walked away from gangs and stuff like that. So definitely that award ceremony has to happen. It has to happen. We have to get the medals, trophies, certificates. We have to get little gift cards, and we have to make them feel special because they all deserve it. Definitely. So that all comes into the GoFundMe, and just to keep us going. Definitely.
So how have you found
the whole
that?
thing is complete.
Sorry, carry on. I do beg your pardon.
No, I was just stating again that the whole thing's completely free. Of charge for everyone.
So how have you guys coped with that financial burden then? Doing all of this for free, the travel, paying them to obviously come to you, possibly food. How have you coped with that financial, financial pressure?
Yeah, so as you know, we're a very small organisation. So I work outside of Power Mobile Gym and stuff like that. So, and also I sell merchandise and stuff like that. So anything, and I say 50% of the money that is accumulated from the merchandise goes to Power Mobile Gym automatically.
Okay.
And also I actually take some of my money to ensure that these boys are okay. So I've only got one girl for now, so you'll often hear me say boys. But there's one girl. There's one girl, but it's male dominated.
It usually is. But like you said, it's like getting more girls involved in it, because making sure, say your fighter turns up and there's somebody there for her to fight. It's pushing that momentum. So how can we then contact yourself and get support the GoFundMe account? Tell me all your social media accounts, put that out there so everyone can find Coach Shan and help towards this cause that is doing tremendous work in the community.
So we'll start off with Instagram. Instagram is Coach_Shan and another underscore. And also for the Power Mobile Gym page, it's _.Power Mobile Gym. That's for Instagram. For Twitter, it's PMG_Power Mobile Gym. And for Facebook, it's just Power Mobile Gym. For Snapchat, it's Power Mobile Gym. Got a little list. And then obviously through email, it's powermobileboxinggym@gmail.com.
Okay.
So it's slightly different.
Okay.
Right. And also on LinkedIn.
Okay, on LinkedIn as well.
Okay. Power Mobile Gym. Missed that one out.
And how can people go to find the GoFundMe if they want to.
The GoFundMe is on our website, and it's also on every single social media application as well that we are on.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely get that stuff out there to support what you're doing. Is a really good cause. I said at the beginning, I didn't realise you were so young. Not because you don't look young, it's because of the experience. I didn't realise that you were so
a lot
experienced.
of people always like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people.
You've done a lot.
It's a good thing.
And to have that entrepreneurial mindset from such a young age and giving back. Where did those influences come from? Because you've got this generosity and kindness from somewhere.
Yeah, I definitely say my family, they're all quite charitable, to be honest. And I think when I was younger, I think I was about 15, I'd say. Yeah. My youngest sister was diagnosed with retinoblastoma, which is like a rare eye cancer that children can have.
Right.
It's a cancer that doesn't cause them any pain or anything like that, but it can lead to blindness as well.
Yeah.
So when that all happened, that's when I started doing the Great Ormond Street fundraiser, because she was obviously at Great Ormond Street, and the Children's Eye Cancer Trust one because she was working with them and stuff like that. And then it just, I think my heart was already open, but it just opened up even more then, sort of thing after that. And I realized, you know what, tomorrow's not promised to anyone. From a young age, I've always said it. People are like, oh, here she goes again, but literally.
But it's right.
No, definitely. Tomorrow's not promised to anyone. And if there is anything I want to be remembered for, I want to be remembered as someone that has an open heart and helps everyone that comes my way, sort of thing, regardless of their age or their background.
Yeah. But some of your kids then, you were saying that some of them have like escaped like, you know, a different lifestyle that could get them into trouble.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, are you all right to share one of those stories with us? Just to show, you know, how real it is out there and what boxing does for the community.
Yeah, definitely. So there's one individual that was part of a gang, obviously in their area. I'm not going to, of course, name the individual in the area.
Details,
yeah, of course. And he was obviously not only involved in selling drugs and stuff like that, but of course, as you know, in that sort of society, would you say there's a hierarchy, of course.
Yeah.
So the person that was above him was controlling his every move, sort of thing.
Really?
He sometimes he couldn't come training because he had to sit there and do other stuff, or be active on his phone and ready to go when it's time, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I've even had people that have come to my sessions with knives on them and stuff like that, all sorts, because they genuinely obviously don't feel safe. And once you get into that sort of lifestyle, sometimes it's very, very hard, and you're a lucky one if you get to escape.
Yeah.
Because of how much control these people can have over you.
Yeah.
So that one individual now, over time, it took a lot of mentoring. I knew him from before Power Mobile Gym was even an idea.
Yeah.
It took a lot of mentoring, a lot of long conversations, a lot of hurtful conversations and stuff like that. But through training, I think it was more about mental strength with him and understanding that.
Yeah.
Okay, sometimes they will come and do the stuff that they say they do, but a lot of the time when they're talking about it, they ain't gonna do anything. They're not gonna do anything at all. So I said, you just keep training. I said, you can't be living on the edge and looking over your shoulder forever.
Yeah.
What about when you? Give an example of what about when you're an old man? You still gonna be carrying stuff and looking over your shoulder then? No, you're not.
It's not freedom, is it?
No, you're not. I said, it's better. Exactly. I said, it's better you sort yourself out now. I said, there's only 2 ways. Well, 3 ways: jail, death, or being a madman.
Yeah.
So that's I said that's that. I said, it's up to you. If you want one of those pathways, then by all means. But yeah. And then he just started training more regularly. I said, okay, cool. You need to be, because the thing you have to understand, it's a transition. It's not okay.
Yeah.
Today, that's it. You're crime free. That is it. It's a transition sort of thing. So it was just steering his mind away from that activity and just being less involved in it, definitely through the use of boxing, through the use of training, through the use of CV building. And now he's employed by a supermarket, and yeah, he's lovely. He's training 4 times a week.
Wow.
So yeah, and you can tell even in his spirits, he's happy. He was a quiet individual, a very, very quiet individual.
Yeah.
And now he's one of the class clowns in a good way.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a
good way.
So how long did that take then before he did make that transition and he said, okay, you know, I'm going to do this. I'm going to, do it this way instead?
It must be like coming up to like a year and a half or something like that. Yeah, about a year and a half. It was not a quick process at all.
Yeah.
And there was so many times, there were several like fallbacks and stuff drawing him back to it, because the reward sometimes of that lifestyle can be so much greater than
reward.
Exactly that. So it was a hard challenge. A hard challenge. Sorry.
Fantastic achievement, and it shows a lot about your levels of patience and your levels of commitment.
Patience is key. Definitely.
And discipline, self-discipline, to be able to be motivated enough to say, you know what, I want you to change. I want you to stop doing what you're doing. You can do better, and I want to help.
Definitely.
A lot of people haven't really got time for that. We live in a world where, well, everything is a rush. You know how many people have, in 2020 in this lockdown have said, I never knew. But it's always been going on. But because you've been running 100 miles an hour, because everything's go, 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 you never saw it. But this year has enabled everyone. The curtains have come up and we can just see exactly what's going on. So that is a true testament to your character.
Indeed.
I am so happy that we've spoken. I saw your page through Spencer Fearon because you joined in on one of his lives, but I hadn't created the boxing page yet. So when I did, that's when I found you, and obviously the rest is history, because I was like, wow, a woman in boxing. You don't realize how much people you're influencing. Keep that magic going. You're a beacon of hope. A shining star in a very, very dark world, very, very dark times.
Indeed.
Honestly, just keep doing what you're doing. What an absolute credit to boxing you are. Coach Shan, thank you very, very much. Is there anything that you want to say before we wrap up?
Well done to my boys. Keep going. Well done to all of them. Well done to all of them. I'm proud of all of them.
Yeah, that is absolutely fantastic. Coach Shan, thank you so much for your time, and we're definitely going to do it again. October Red on YouTube. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. And don't forget, at October Red, we stay ready.